Hi beautiful, and welcome back to my channel. Today's hair was sent to me by Wiggins and they are sponsoring today's video, so thank you to them. Got this super beautiful body wave that I went ahead and crimped, and I'm in love with the look. So if you want to see how I got it, I followed some tips that I've learned from TikTok, and this is a glued unit and I'm here. So if you want to see how I got this look, stay tuned and keep on watching.
All I gotta say is, mwah! And you already know who it is.
Now this body wave was full from root to tip. 28 full inches, maybe 30. I think they was being a little generous, but it was full from root to tip. This is the body wave dried, air dried. I did give it a nice wash and condition, and this is what it looked like after I crimped the back. But y'all know crimps is so repetitive. I saved y'all the hassle of watching me crimp, you know, all this hair in the back because it was very full and thick from root to tip, y'all. Look how beautiful. Look how nice. But first, I haven't done a ball cap method in a long time, so here's my updated one. Here we go. Here's what I do to get my edges slicked back. I have a lot of hair on my face, so I like to put on a wet cap and push it back a little bit so that the edge control like freezes in place before I get to doing the glue part. This is a little bit of skin protectant from Eben. I was going to use my Ericka J, but I wanted to see how I like this, and it was okay. This is a wig cap I'm using. It's been getting sent to me a lot, and the wigs I've been using, I like them a lot more because they're a lot thinner and like more transparent than the other one. And I do notice that like I had a little bit of a longer wear. I think there's several tips I learned from TikTok that helped me with that, but I do think that this is a great base, that skin protectant in this super thin cap. I don't know if they sell these at the beauty supply. I don't know if they sell this at the beauty supply store, but if they do, I'll go ahead and link it. But for now, you don't want to cut too big of a hole for your ear. If you ain't never did this before, if you do it a lot and you're always like, why is my hole so big? It's you cutting too big of a hole. Don't drop your spray. I'm using the Even spray. This is the sensitive one. I thought the sensitive would be nice for a base layer. You know, just keep it in mind that this is like my skin up under here. You of course want it to dry down completely before you get to cutting, and you want to get it mostly on the ears. I think sometimes the ear area can kind of lift, so you want to really make sure that that side is getting the spray it needs to really stick down and be where it needs to be. Now go ahead, get the blow dryer, put it on a cool setting, and wait for this to dry. You want to make sure it's completely dry because you're going to keep the ball cap. I'm going to cut just a little bit above the band on the wig cap so that I can keep the band. The goal is to cut all the way around to the hole you cut for your ear so you can get this band to come up and separate from the rest of the wig cap and push it on back. So now your braids, your little 12 dookie braids, they stuck in the cap and now they're not traveling around. A little bit of tinted lace spray on top of the cap. I'm not going to put any on my wig, just, you know, make sure that this is pretty, you know, my skin color. It's supposed to be a bald cap, not wigs underneath a cap. So now let's get the eyebrow razor. Now, I ain't gonna lie, y'all, wearing wigs over time has definitely trimmed down my facial hair, you know, right by the top corner of my hairline. It's been a little long time coming on trying to make sure I can keep my edges right. So I just learned if you cut on top of the wig cap, it makes it a lot harder for you to cut your hair. Don't cut to the side, just cut on top. Now we're going with our first layer. I'm going to end up doing 3 layers. What you want to do, and I know a lot of people stress this, and maybe for a long time I was just being impatient and not really wanting to wait, but the goal to get a key, you know, melted install that lasts you a long time. What a long time for me is like a good 4 days without touching up. A good 4 days, no touch-ups. Make sure that first layer and all the layers after it dry down completely. I separated the back from the front because I didn't want my crimps to mess up. But those are all done. I put a net that the wig came on to separate that from the frontal because the frontal isn't crimped yet. I wanted to wait to make sure I have my part right. And, you know, I just want my crimps to frame my face. I didn't want to do those on the mannequin head. So I'm cutting my 2 slits in my wig, and I will be, you know, okay, so as you can see here, this wig does come pre-plucked. I actually didn't do anything to pluck the wig at this point. I do end up plucking it a little bit later on, but at this point, the wig has come like this. I just bleached it, so I'm just making sure the front fits, and then I'm going to get my S-curve. Isn't that an S-curl? That's a perm? My S-curve, and I'm just going to cut out this ear tab, you know. Just don't cut out no unnecessary hair. That's my little tip for you right now. TikTok tips is coming soon. Most of them will be coming from the hair diagram. I'll link her TikTok and Instagram below. She's a licensed cosmetologist who owns the hair diagram. They make bold hold, they make liquid gold. So yeah, I follow her and she has a lot of tips. So most of the tips that I'll be telling you guys today come from her because, you know, I've been a licensed cosmetologist for years and years and years doing wigs, but she has. So shout out to her. I'll have her Instagram and all that linked down below. But now I'm going to my second layer. I'm just showing you guys the middle section, but I will be going all the way around and just making sure that this creates such a thin layer. I wanted to make sure I spread it out and make sure it's really, really thin, as you can see real close here. As you can see, the other parts of the glue have dried down completely before I've done this. That's a key part into making sure that your install has longevity and is really melted. I went ahead and went around the whole perimeter of the hairline, and that's what it looks like when it's fully dried down. And now it's time for that third and final layer, and this is the layer where I'm going to put the lace on top of. So for this layer, you want it to be tacky, but you don't want too much white in the glue because later on it can get your lace to be a little dark and sticky if you don't allow the glue to dry down all the way. So that's just something I learned through trial and error, but just it's better to be a little patient and wait a little bit so that the glue can dry down fully. You know, blow dry, do what you need to do, play some music, just be patient and wait for it to dry down. And once it does, I am lifting this wig a little bit more forward than I would, you know, usually like it to be, because I am cutting a little bit of this hairline in the front off. It was a little too plucked for me, for my liking. But either all the rest of the wig definitely is plucked pretty well. This front part I just noticed didn't really have to be there, so I'm pushing it a little more in front. If you want to do this, maybe you could do it off before you glue, but I like doing it like this. So this is how I did it. Now this is a tip I learned from TikTok, from the hair diagram specifically. Fingers. Use your fingers. I think I used to be a little scared because, you know, I don't like my fingers getting sticky, then I'm going to touch stuff. But at this point in your install, your fingers should be a useful tool for you to push your lace into the glue and get rid of some of that sticky, shiny residue that the glue leaves. By pressing your fingers up against it, you just get rid of that little sticky, shiny part. I'm going to do it on this side as well, and you'll see it happen. Again, make sure your layers are thin and dried down. You're going to see the change before I lay down the lace. I'm pushing it as I go a little bit, just touching around, and as you can see, it's a little bit white right there, but I was like being impatient. But I recommend for you to wait until the glue is completely clear and tacky to press that lace on in. And you can see I'm pushing in my fingers instead of a comb. I like a little bit of a comb for just making sure that the lace sticks to the spot, and then going with my fingers. I got a little bit of cotton on that piece, but going in with my fingers and just making sure that the lace is really pressed in. I think the warmth from your fingers actually does something as well. The comb doesn't really, and that's me showing y'all that it did what it was supposed to do. This is me getting off the front part of the hairline. I wasn't really feeling nothing much going on here. I'm just going underneath to go where the glue had went. Does that make sense? Where the glue stuck is where I'm razoring it off to. And at this point, I'm just getting a little stray hairs, and that looks a lot better than what it looked like before. It was just a little too overplucked. I really like a natural look, and I don't know why I did this. I thought it was smart at the time, but I put on my elastic band for a second before I moved on to the next part. But after I looked at it for a second, I went ahead and started razoring off the excess lace on the right and left sides, and now I'm going in with my red even spray. I want to try the black one. I'm here. Word on the streets is that the black one's way better than the red one, and I want to see what they're talking about, so I might have to find out about that. I'm going around the perimeter of the hairline with my little spatula and just pressing that into the lace. As you can see, at this point, I really didn't even need to do that because the lace was already so melted that it was just like a bonus. But again, going with my blow dryer on a cool setting and using my fingers to press in. This is what the lace is looking like after I think at this point I did pluck it a little bit, but not a lot. Or maybe it was at this point. Either way, it's about time to do my makeup. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but I've had a bare face this whole time. And that's because I'm not a fan of the makeup underneath the lace. It doesn't set a good foundation for a good long-lasting install. So here's me doing makeup after and just making sure that there isn't any lines on the edges by taking off that edge band. But I will be, you know, throwing it back on eventually. But this is me doing my makeup really quick. I am doing a routine, but like I told y'all, my products is so old looking that I really don't want to. But if y'all say y'all don't care and y'all like the beat and y'all want to use some cheap dollar store products and get this type of look, like, say less, I'll really do the tutorial. I'm just embarrassed that my makeup is so old and And even though it looks so good, my makeup is so old. Look, I really need to go re-up and get back into the makeup world. Like, I used to love makeup. I just keep doing the same 2 beats. When the two variations of the beat is like a cream on the lid or not, you know. But that's the only variation I do. My beat be the same, and it's reliable, and it's using very cheap, affordable products. So if y'all don't care, I'll show y'all the products I use now and not the products I would like to use, like the products I aspire to use, because that's what my video is in my head is now. Like, it's the products that I'm gonna get in like a new makeup, trying new makeup type video. I don't know. That's what I would like to do ideally, but let me know what you think. If you want to see my affordable version, if you want to see my not affordable version, let me know. And then meanwhile, I did go through and add some edge control stick to the root of the side part because I just wanted to lay flat. Like, y'all know me, flat installs only. That's the only way I can go about it. That's the only way I'm gonna do it, period. Before we get into the crimps, I just want to lay the foundation of the baby hairs just so that the crimps is done. I can immediately get out the house because I was gonna go out, y'all. I'll be in the house, but I went out and I was just trying to get ready in time. And actually, I was pretty timely, I think. I'm proud of myself when I think about it. Wow. Guess who wasn't running late in this video? JaLeah. Woo! Okay, hold the applause. I gotta keep telling you about what I'm doing. Anyway, I'm getting out my sideburn, getting out, you know, that front baby hair. I'm gonna go ahead and go at a jagged angle with the eyebrow razor, give it a curl. When I wrap that up, I got a lot more baby hair than usual out because I kind of want it to look like a sew-in, like how when you get your edges done before a sew-in, they kind of just all go in together, and that was the vibe I was going for. So that's what this big back section is. And then the front 2 curls I'm doing, sometimes I like to break it up just so that the curls get maximum curl. And that, like so, like here, 3 separate curls, but you know, all going into one little swoop. And then of course, can't forget sideburns. I give it a little comb out once, you know, it's curled. I'm a little ahead of myself. Give it a little, no, that's all I'm doing. Oh, what I'm doing is I'm spraying with hairspray and just making sure the hair is in place before I add the rest of the baby hair, so that it just lays naturally. I'm going in with my edge booster and my grip gel, oh reliables, oh faithfuls, they never failed me, and you know, they get me right. So here's me combing through for that first little comb. I'm gonna do the back of the baby hair first because I want to lay the foundation of them, and this kind of doesn't need to be interfered with. You know, this part is the sturdy part. This is what's, you know, that's staying. And then I'm gonna come out the front once I get that situated and make sure it's laying the way I want it to lay. Before I add some product to the base, I go in with edge control first, and then I go in with the grip gel. Really great combination. It never fails me. My edges last for a long time, and even during touch-ups, I really don't need much more product on top. I can just recurl them and comb them down, and they last. So if you guys want to see like a maintenance video, another maintenance video, I always love touching up my installs and making them look like brand new, like how they did day 1. So let me know if you want to see that. When that wraps up, I can see the vision and I'm feeling it. So now it's time to do the sideburn again. Comb it out, and then once you get the shape you're going for, a little bit of edge control at the base, comb that on out. And once you comb that on out, added a little bit of grip gel to the base as well. And that's what it's looking like. If you get a really good curl, it should really hold itself. Now, this is the crimp part. Y'all, I swear y'all didn't want to see the whole back of the head getting crimped. I know y'all didn't, so I made it easy. Here's me crimping the front. Like I said, I got the back sectioned off, and I need the front to frame the face. So I sprayed a little bit of Sebastian Shaper Plus, and then went ahead and crimped downwards. And it kind of messed up right there, so I think that's what that was. And then, you know, repeat that on each section. I'm doing smaller sections in the front because I really don't need, you know, I don't know. This is how I did it. You don't really need big sections in general. Smaller sections are better usually because you can see the crimp, it's more defined, and all the whole piece is crimped all the way. If you get a bigger piece, you know what I'm talking about. The crimper really don't crimp the way it needs to with a smaller piece. So just crimping the front. I know y'all didn't want to see the whole thing, so made it easier for y'all. Boom, front's crimped. And now, of course, it would be me without a flat top. So going back in with that hot comb and a little bit of spray and just framing the front. I really like how the crimp like laid on the side part, if you guys can see right there. So I was just trying to make that a little bit more, you know, visible. And this is the final touch. I didn't even realize I have no shirt on now. Yeah, I don't got no shirt on. I must have got hot with that crimper. Anyway, let's free the back. I was hoping it didn't look a mess. I was hoping and praying that it didn't look a mess after being up in there, but I released it and the hair still looks crimped and beautiful. And by this point, I was fully satisfied. I had to get up out the door soon because y'all know it's time for me to get out there. So let's add more final touches. Y'all know I can't leave without making sure top of my head is flat. I'm going to add a little bit of mascara on the parts that I over bleached a little bit. Nothing too crazy, but it just will look a little more cleaner with a little bit of touch up. So I'm using my Great Lash OG mascara to touch it up, and then I'll be going in with a little concealer along the part, and boom! As you can see, it's giving silk press. It's giving so in. Like, I'm a fan. So let's let Real JaLeah step in and chat y'all out. Alright, here is the final look. The crimps kind of like deflated a little bit, but I kind of like when they look a little softer, so it's fine. I'm pretty sure they're going to like hold. They seem like they're holding pretty well. The whole back, had to call my friend and ask, did the back of my head look ridiculous? And she said no. So if the back of my head look ridiculous right now, she's on my shit list. That is today's final look. I want you to see my shirt so bad. It's so cute. Here's how long the hair is. It's 28 inches, but it seems like 30 for real. It's going pretty far now. Just in case you was wondering. That is today's final look. I'm about to take a shot. I'm gonna go out. If you want to take a shot with me, if you sitting there and you ain't doing nothing, come on. You ain't doing nothing. I got me some cheapo tequila because I'm young and my body can take it. Cheers to being a bad bitch, to looking the fuck good, to shitting on hoes, to ruining their nights because I just look so fucking good. They pissed. Cheers. It's been real. I'm gonna see y'all in my next one. If you ain't seen my last video, go check that one out. I'm gonna fuck with you. I gotta go get turned. Bye. Bye, beautiful.